Today's video is a conversation on how to focus on I am, which is your being, how to practice I am meditation. Enjoy.
Uh, Sunny, the question that I want to ask, I think it's a rough question. When Nisargadatta was speaking about uh, feeling the I am sense or being aware I am, is it that gross sense of body? I mean, is it just sensing the body that we call I am?
The body is not I am because the body changes and I am aware of the body changing. The only
Yeah.
thing that the body is identifiable as an experience is just sensation, right? Of
Mhm.
course, like on the level of sense perception, you can perceive the body as a, a sight, like a object of sight, and perhaps an object of touch. So it exists in the level of sense perception, materiality, but in a
Mhm.
subtler sense, the body is sensation. It is a field of sensations that is not in this sense perception realm, but it is also not the presence. The body is always a changeful object that you see at a distance, whereas the self remains changeless. That's why throughout our life, no matter how much the body has changed, you have always referred to yourself as I.
Yes, but when he talks about being aware of I am, should we talk something more untangible, or is that okay if I just feel this body and mind?
It's okay if you feel the
Because
body without description.
yeah,
It is still not the same as being aware of being. However, that is usually a good bridge to being aware of being. I am. If you observe even the body sensation without description, without any concept,
mhm,
it still brings you to, it still helps you be still. But you see,
yes,
we say aware of the body. Do you see? So you're saying aware of the body, right? The body is an object of your seeing. What is it that sees? I am that which sees. I am not what I see. So yes, that I which sees it cannot be perceived as an object. But the very fact of perceiving, that is what needs to be looked at.
mhm. Because if I want to think, let's say think, okay, if I want to think about being aware I am, then I am becomes a concept, not a being.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I get puzzled.
That's why thinking in this matter is of no use, because even the thoughts that arise speaking about I am are something I am aware of. So even those thoughts are an object of my seeing. I am that which sees thoughts. I am not the thoughts that I see. Thoughts come and go. I remain as I am. So I am prior to, subtler than these waves of experience, which includes the body, which includes the mind. Anything perceivable, no matter how material it may seem or how subtle it may seem, such as these thoughts or emotions or sensations, by the very fact of me being aware of them, I am not them. I am not that. Because the fact is, if you are aware of something, it will pass and you will see it's passing. Who is the seer? I am that. I know I am the seer because I see the rising and passing of everything. But what I am, that is not an object. So we can see self inquiry as like a turning inwards to myself. I am the seer, and now I am learning to see myself. But when I look at myself, I don't see anything. I see seeing. I see the very fact of seeing happening. I'm not aware of something. I am aware that I am. Awareness of being, of amness, is awareness of self, the one that is unchanging and true. So when you see the body, recognize that you see the body. What sees the body? What is aware of the body? Thought projects the idea that I, the body, am aware of the body. Thought associates awareness to be a possession of the body. But even the thought that is spinning out this story is an object in my seeing.
I see. So if we discard the body and mind, just the feeling I am, would that be enough?
Yeah,
Not thinking
it
about the
is
body or mind, just the feeling of I am
exactly,
sense.
exactly. Just tune into that, acknowledge that, stay with that, be aware only of that, and don't associate that with the body because the body is a changeful experience. I am is the ever present presence, which I always feel as myself. Don't associate that with anything that you are aware of, any experience. Look, even this experience will soon pass. I am is not this body, it is not this speech, it is not this thinking, it is not this whole experience process that is happening right now. The next experience, when that appears, also in the form of thinking, speaking, doing, it will also have the same I amness pervading it. The three layers of subtlety of our experience, the outward most layer, which is the realm of material objects or the realm of sense perceptions, the five senses, within which is included the entire body and world. Not the entire body, body has a subtler component to it, as we talked about, but the world, everything we know as my life is in the material world. Body is part of it. If you take it one step subtler, then what you can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is the material is the mental world, the subtle objects, thoughts you cannot see, hear, taste, touch, smell, but you are aware of. Thoughts are invisible, but even they have a slight form because you are aware of them. You cannot taste a thought or smell a thought, but you are aware of thought. Same with sensations. You cannot taste pain. You cannot hear pain or pleasure, but you are aware of them. Emotions are just sensations. Put them in the same bucket. Doesn't really matter. So you see, there's a subtle field of sensation and thought that is not in the realm of sense perceptions, yet you are aware of them. Then there's something even subtler than the invisible thoughts and sensations. That is what we call presence or beingness. I am, I. This has no form. This you just feel as yourself. This you just feel as I, or I am now, being. This is the fact of being, the fact of being aware, being present. It is the light in which this whole experience is appearing and being seen. So this is the seer. You see, it is aware. So the teaching we're covering today, the last session, and now is see unmix this from all of these, because right now this is so mixed in with all of these things. The body is not aware. The body is an experience there's awareness of. Thoughts are not aware. Thoughts are objects. They are an experience I am aware of. In the sea of change, you see these two layers constantly changing. In the sea of change, become curious about what isn't changing. Because what is not changing while everything else is changing is the hint of truth inside of illusion. It is the presence of source, self, God, whatever, in illusion. All of this stuff borrows its reality from what is actually true and real, yet has no form. Pay attention to the self, which has no name, no story, no agenda. The sum of this experience can be pleasant or unpleasant. I am aware of it equally. I don't have a preference whether experience is pleasant or unpleasant. The mind which has a preference, the mind which prefers and resists, is also an experience I am aware of without preference or resistance. Is that not true? I am always, whether what is being experienced is a success or failure of for the body and mind, gain or loss for the body and mind, pleasant experience or unpleasant experience for the body and mind. The I am is always shining equally. It is not biased. It is like space. You can put a pile of garbage in it or a pile of gold. It doesn't mean anything to the space, which enables both equally to exist. So, our work here is to discover our unchanging, unconditional being and stop associating our being, ourself, with contents of experience, which are ever changeful and essentially unreal, meaning they have no reality. They appear real for a moment and then they pass. All experiences appear real for a moment and then they pass, and a new experience takes its place. In this sea of change, what is the unchanging constant? What perceives this change? Pay attention to that. You can feel into it here and now. You can feel how thinking is subtler than material experience, right? If thinking is arising, like it is, you can see it exists on a subtler plane than physicality. But even thinking is perceived by that which is subtler than it. So that which perceives thinking is an even subtler plane of existence. If you look outside in the world of sense perceptions and you try to find thoughts, you will go crazy because you'll never find thoughts. You'll never find thoughts with your eyes. Just like that, you will never find the self or understand the self or know the self with your thoughts. Just like the eyes cannot see thoughts which are subtler than what the eyes can perceive, just like that, thoughts cannot grasp. They don't have the capacity to grasp the self, which is subtler than prior to what thoughts can conceptualize, can conceive. To conceive means it's an idea, it is a fantasy, it is imagination, it is not true. Concept is the beginning of illusion. And all suffering is rooted in concept. Main concept being, I am a somebody, I am a so and so. So, what sees the world changing while it never changes? What is this me which sees the body endlessly changing and I never feel I never feel any different? What is this me which sees the coming and going of all these mental and emotional states, yet I am always myself? Today, mind is happy. I say, I am happy. Tomorrow, mind is depressed. I say, I am depressed. Then it is anxious. I say, I am anxious. Then it wants this and is irritated. And I say, I'm irritated. We keep attaching I am, which is unchanging identity, unchanging presence, to all these different waves of the mind, which come and go. Nothing which is seen to come and go, no matter how intimate, is self. We have to discern between our unchanging being, I am, and all changeful experiences, material and subtle. We cannot know ourself as an experience because any experience is perceived by that which is not itself an experience. We give our attention to objects, subtle and material. Now, our practice is to give attention to ourself. Bring attention back to itself from where it is coming. Instead of spilling it into objects, bring your attention back to yourself again and again and again. You keep losing it, we just keep bringing it back to from where it is flowing, which is I. When the mind is worrying about if I'm doing this right, once again, your attention has gone outward and it's flowing to thoughts, to subtle objects. Bring attention back to yourself. Don't associate yourself with thinking. You are not thinking. Thoughts are being seen. Don't care so much about what thoughts are saying. What thoughts are saying is an idea. Your attention on them is a fact. So bring attention back to itself. Bring attention back to where attention is flowing from, which is I am. Very subtle and sticky and difficult in the beginning, but it becomes increasingly clear if the practice is there rather than more and more conceptual theories about it. That's why here we emphasize consistent practice, daily practice, devoting your entire life to this work, first and foremost. The attitude to the rest of life, it's surrender. Body does its work. Experiences happen, relationships happen, worldly things happen, but they are no longer our primary obsession, no longer our primary focal point of interest. If you have questions about what we covered today, if you have questions about what we covered today, comment them down below or join our free self-inquiry community and ask them there. Also, if you are looking to take this practice very deep, if you want a structured approach to this practice with all the support that you need in order to grow in awareness of your true self, join Self Inquiry School. I linked both things down below. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in today.